You are a miracle waiting to happen, waiting to manifest. Hello, this is Domas reporting live from the forest, and I can't help but think that we are not being encouraged enough in our lives, so we need to encourage ourselves, or we need to seek encouragement from others, because sometimes you only need that little push forward. Ever since I was a kid, I was like skateboarding, and I remember trying to motivate my friends, trying to teach them the tricks that I knew so they could, learn from me. And they were like getting annoyed that I was trying to teach them. They were like, you with your teachings, I don't know, like I was always wanted to share the knowledge that I have. But sometimes people don't need that knowledge. They're not asking for it. They don't want to know, or they want to learn themselves, which is valid and makes me think that, sometimes maybe sharing or oversharing when nobody's asking you to is actually a bad thing. That's why I think silence is important, more important than sound, because silence respects what sound sort of projects. It just is one, silence is sort of everything. But when you have too much sound, you get chaos. But when you have silence, you can't have too much silence. I mean, you can if you were the only person in the world, and you probably would be begging for someone to talk to or some sounds to happen without your effort, But I always think about space and silence. Well, I say I always think about it. I'm probably thinking about most of the bright things when I'm doing these videos, because I want to deliver something positive. And then I start thinking about positive things and uplifting things, and I kind of hype myself up. But as soon as the video ends, I think, okay, maybe this is not interesting, so I end the video. Again, self-esteem, not the highest quality of mine, but I end the video, and then it goes back into the mode of, just regular human thoughts. But I think when you're doing something for others, or focusing on others, focusing on delivering something good, maybe that God particle is working through you. Maybe God has something to say through you, and maybe all the suffering and all the diseases and all the stress in our lives is caused by that, when God wants to speak through you, but you don't allow it to, just because of your own kind of strict rules upon yourself, and you kind of just brush it off as unimportant because you think, no, what's more important is my discipline and everything that I'm doing. It's like, even richest people in the world say that what they wish they'd done differently was they would have spent more time with their loved ones, their close ones, when they were younger. because they don't have that time now. But sometimes I think about, not being poor, but like not being wealthy. It's kind of saved me from a lot of stress in my life. Because if you're born in a wealthy family, you kind of don't have a choice but to be wealthy. You have to preserve the wealth that you have. You have to be very strict with how you spend your time, your money, your energy. And I don't know if I have that. Maybe I don't have that yet. But sometimes I think it's a gift to be born in families that, don't have too much. Then you have to build everything yourself. And I mean, build what? Because you're already born with some seeded in consciousness, of your family, of your relatives, of your grandparents, and it's kind of hard to get away from that. And I think it's been hard for me to get away. That's why I think I came back, in order to learn that I haven't moved that far. Running away from family was just making me more like them, more, not even like them, but I didn't grow. I don't think I grew as a person that much. I think I started growing more when I realized that I don't know where I'm running, so I need to come back to my roots, and I need to look at what I've done and what I haven't done in order to propel myself forwards. And now every day seems a bit like I'm going forwards, but it's like very little steps. And I think maybe that's how you do move forward. You start from the base, ground up, and you sort of build bit by bit, and you look back into your essence and into your heart and ask it whether this is the right thing to do. Because for a long time I think I didn't ask that. I was just running. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I will do. I don't care if anyone agrees with me. I'm going to do what I want to do. In the end, that destroyed me. So kind of regret it now. But still made me into the person that I am. So hopefully that can grow into a new flower, like the phoenix. I can rise from the ashes and turn into a new being that's been reborn. I think that's what we all go through in our lives from when we're young. We're building something. That's our identity. And eventually that identity collapses, which is a very strange thing, because you feel like that was you. That was all of that was you. And it wasn't. It was you, but plus the persona, plus the mask. And you don't really know who you are until all of that breaks down. And all of that disappears, and you're left alone, and you're left in the darkness. And then you call out for something higher, something that's inside of you and outside of you. That higher self that's been looking after you the whole time. Literally looking after you, like seeing what you're doing, and after you do something, just kind of looking and judging, but in a kind of healthy way, I think, in a very, like a way that's not non-judgmental, like you know, when a father that doesn't punish, just watches what you're doing, sees you seeing him, you know, and just the eyes are enough, you know, the look is enough for the kid to kind of realize what he's doing, because somebody else is watching. Does he want to be seen doing that stuff, you know, doing what he's doing? Does he want to be seen? Does he feel okay doing that, or does he feel guilty, you know? Like, how does one know what to do and what not to do? Good question. Do kids need to be, you know, stopped from doing what they're doing? Like, do they need to be kind of judged, or do they figure out that some things are not meant to be done? I don't know. I don't have kids, so I can't tell. Only one way to find out. But that's it. More encouragement, so you have more power. So you're wonderful. Keep doing you. Love you guys. Have a great day, morning, evening, nighttime, and greetings from the nature. Love you guys, and peace.